Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of the Quarantine Sessions, where I chat to people a lot cooler than myself in the wonderful land of lockdown. Now, my guest this week is an alternative pop-punk band who craft evocative, cathartic music, focusing on themes of moving forward and coping through difficult times. Hopefully they can cope through the next 20 minutes or so with me. They're arguably the most handsomest band performing today. It is my pleasure to introduce Cleveland's own Elbow Room.
Thank you, Tom. I'm extremely honored, honestly. That's beyond flattered.
I reverberate everything. Thanks, Tom. What a guy.
I speak no lie. So how are you guys doing in these strange times that we live in?
We're good. I think we're dealing the best we can. We're putting out a record soon, so I think that was a good way to occupy our downtime. We've been really busy behind the scenes, so
for sure. I think one of the first things that we kind of wanted to achieve, when things started getting worse progressively day by day, where we wanted to kind of see what could we do to kind of keep our foot in the grounds of staying relevant during this all of these annoying and unknown times. So that's kind of how we came up with, you might talk about this with our social distancing sessions that we've done. Just trying to keep active,
Well, let's talk about it now quickly. Tell us a little bit about the social distancing sessions. That's really hard for me to say. It's too many S's.
5 times fast, yeah.
Yeah, so those were, we were just talking one day, kind of when everything got shut down. We were actually making this record on the East Coast of the US in New Jersey when everything kind of started going haywire, and we came home while they were locking everything down. And so that's when, I remember Scott called me one day, and everything was closed. He's like, we're not probably not going to be together for months. We won't be playing shows for who knows how long. Let's do something, let's do something handcrafted, where from the audio to the recording to the graphic design for the art to the videos, everything is just us, that we put together and give it to, the people that follow us on social media and stuff. And I think it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. So
Absolutely. And just I suppose at the top of the show, for the unfortunate few who may not have heard of Elbow Room before, would you mind just in your own words quickly introducing the band?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Spencer.
I'm Ben. I guess we should also talk about I guess we should also talk about our roles.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So I play guitar and I sing.
I mainly just sing. I play guitar here and there whenever I feel like it.
He plays guitar too. He sells himself short. And
very modest.
Scott's on the drums. Overall, just kind of engine, back there, just keeps us running. So,
yep.
I mean, he's behind an engine now. You can't keep him away from the engine.
It's unbelievable. You can't keep this kid from moving, really.
Absolutely. It's very admirable. And then in the effort of just to getting to know each other a little bit better, I mean, we may be continents apart, but we're all friends here. I got to ask you guys, if you could be a type of sandwich, what kind of sandwich would you be?
You know what? I've already got my answer for this. I think I would be, for any listeners that shop at Subway, that place. They have a sandwich there called the Spicy Italian. That sounds great. It sounds like a great idea at first when you eat it, but a couple hours later when you're laying there in bed, kind of leaves you with a bitter aftertaste and some relative indigestion and heartburn. So I think that's kind of what you get with me.
Okay, interesting. My favorite sandwich would be, my Subway order is a close second, but probably the chicken California sandwich from Charlie's. It's just it's like a Philly cheesesteak, but it's chicken and some sort of melted cheese and
that sounds good.
Some sauce or something. And it's unreal. It's a good one. So I'd be that.
I wish we had something like that over here. Our sandwich choices are not as good as the States.
Yeah.
Much more kind of truck stop restrooms, sort of just like those little crappy triangle sandwiches that you
Got
get in
you.
the plastic.
Okay.
That's pretty much all we got. What about you, Scott?
I think just a good old BLT. That definitely does it for me.
I mean, a BLT is underrated. It is a legend for a reason, but you got to do it right. You can't do it with sort of the crappy sliced ham that they do sometimes, again, like supermarkets or truck stops or whatever. It's got to be proper bacon, proper
bacon for sure. Yeah.
Fried on a pan for, good 10 minutes, get it nice and crispy. And then you've got one hell of a BLT.
That's,
For sure.
I love that.
For sure.
I think you're onto something with that. And I think it's got to have a pretzel bun too. If you're able to get that pretzel bun,
Oh,
you're
holy
cooking.
shit, dude.
pretzel bun.
I'm so down for all of this. I have to ask just quickly, is this the most you've talked about sandwiches in any of the interviews you've ever done?
I don't know.
I would say so.
Sandwiches,
Probably.
yes. Food, no.
Not
I
food,
see.
no.
I
Yeah.
see. I mean, we're cornering that sandwich market. That's where I want to get to.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
You nailed it.
Thank you. Anyway, at time of recording, your latest EP, Now That You're Away, is less than a month away from dropping. It's not just around the corner. June 5th, I believe, is
Yes.
correct.
Yeah.
What can people expect from this release?
With this release specifically, maybe in comparison to anybody that might have listened to our last record, Constant Mistake, people can expect a more, I want to say definitely high energy and a lot more, I would say, hard hitting type of sound with this record. We definitely attempted to chase a more alternative rock feel with this record. It has a lot more, I want to say, anger in this record, where Constant Mistake had a little bit of anger in it. This one definitely kind of like moves on from that. Constant Mistake was kind of about feeling down and feeling a lot of self-guilt, making a lot of mistakes in your life. So with this record, a couple years moved on, it kind of grasps the idea that you're angry now and you're moving through life in stages, and now you're not feeling guilty anymore. You're feeling a lot of hurt and a lot of anger. And I think that sound is captured, personally, from my experience, very well in this record.
Yeah. And like, just in the same way as this is the record that comes after Constant Mistake, it really is the symbolic next step in the process, for us. Like, and, we really wanted to make sure that it was apparent that we were stepping into, just as much as that was that, like, we are stepping into something new, and we're going to continue growing. I think that's what we're trying to show, like,
Absolutely.
this record.
So was the sort of the thematic evolution from your previous EP to this one, was that by design, or was that something that happened more organically, would you say?
Based on how, like, unbelievably detailed me and Ben kind of get in our conversations with some of it, I think a lot of it ended up kind of just being a thematic structure. A lot of Constant Mistake was just really put together, like, just over a lot of painstaking conversations and back and forth, like rearranging things. And it was all put together to be in an order, in a real reason. And I think we kind of said, like, what if we started doing that on a bigger scale too? And we did that with all of our art, instead of just within the realm of one EP at a time, So absolutely. I think we did, kind of try to make it like a thematic structure, together. So
awesome. And did you manage to get it all recorded before, obviously, the lockdown, or was sort of some of the process ongoing once we got into the situation we are in now?
So pretty much the way, and I'll actually let Scott get a word in on edgewise on this too, but I pretty much, in terms of the writing process, we've been pretty much writing for this EP dating back to about August of last year, actually. So a lot of stuff changed, honestly, from August through to like when we actually started recording the EP in March. But there's definitely a lot of elements that we've kept since August writing of last year. But that's the beautiful thing with music, is it's like kind of like what he talked about earlier too. It's a gradual, just like kind of evolution of, you think you have an idea of where a song is, and you play it and you demo it and you hear it and you go, wow, this sounds great. But then, like, all it takes is like maybe 2 weeks later, Spencer, Scott, someone comes in, or myself comes in with an idea, and then you just changed like the entire game of the song. So I think that's what's been really cool with this EP. But yeah, Scott, what do you have to say on that? Because Scott's kind of like our big wizard behind the curtain.
Yeah, no, definitely a good background on that, Ben. And yeah, we started in August and just had a lot of different ideas. And really, we wanted this EP to kind of just envision what Alba Room is, like comprehensively, just like what we are as a group. And yeah, we took a couple songs out to New Jersey to the Lumberyard with Nick and Ace. And luckily, we got to do some co-writing with them there. So we got to take some songs and really just switch them up a bit. And some songs are a little closer to what we had originally. But overall, it was just really good being able to work through different ideas. And the fun thing too is we've still got tons of other ideas that we're going to use for our next releases and whatnot. But overall, with these 4 tracks, we feel really good about like what they, as a whole say about our band. And like, I guess just we're really happy with how all 4 came out together and all that good stuff.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. And to answer your question, Tom, too, if you're asking more about like the actual like recording process, like when we were in New Jersey, we did get everything done before like all the lockdowns and stuff. We when we kind of went out there was like there was like really just speculation, and I don't even think there was the cases in the US. I don't think they stated really what anything was yet. But by the end of our session there, that we were there for 7 or 8 days, and by the end of that, they were starting to I think by the time we were coming home in our home state, they even had the stay-at-home lockdown order announced. It was going into place, I think, the night after we got home. So we just squeezed it in like right before the whole recording process, right before everything got shut down. So
it was lucky.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I suppose speaking of the situation we're in now, but actually, no, that's a bad way of putting it. Let's forget about the terrible situation the world is in now. Let's look back to when things were a little bit better. Obviously, no one can tour at the moment, which sucks so much. But looking back to when we could tour and when we could play live and everything, have you got any crazy stories you can share with the world from your time of playing live?
Cincinnati, Ben, take it away.
Yeah.
Tell me about Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'll let Ben tell this story.
I don't know how I'm the one that always ends up having to tell this story, but you know what? I guess I feel honored in a way. It's a pretty cool situation where, we played a show, and was it Cincinnati or technically was it Kentucky?
Kentucky.
It was
on the
Newport,
border.
Kentucky. Yeah.
Newport, Kentucky. They're kind of close. Anyway, so pretty much what happened was we ended up having to travel separately. So me and Scott had traveled together and had gotten to the venue at regularly scheduled time. And Spencer, who unfortunately for him is kind of like our own personal well-known like tardy guy, he kind of usually gets there a little bit fashionably late. He also had our other member of the band at the time, our bassist Matt, and they were coming separately from where we live out here in Cleveland. So we're getting like ready just to go on stage. I mean, like it's us and then the band that was playing following us, a band called Mascots from Cincinnati, Ohio. They were about to play after us, but we're getting ready to go on. The band prior, they had just finished their set. They're taking everything down. We're about to go on. And me and Scott are panicking, looking at each other like, well, he's texting us saying he's just about here, but he's not here yet. So we're going to have to come up with something really good to like hold up on this. And it's like, as soon as like we start, I slowly started carrying like the first like small guitar cab just to get it moved up on stage. I see this guy running in through the huge entrance front doors, just storms his way in there, all sweaty, hot mess, just nervous, panicking. But I mean, that like the timing couldn't have been more exactly perfect. But that was a fun, scary almost situation that we had to deal with that I don't think we were prepared.
I know we played a great set.
We did play a great set.
Sick. And then there was another time when we were in Erie, Pennsylvania. We were actually, funny enough, we were on a few shows with Mascots he was just talking about. And
it's always with Mascots.
One of the shows, we weren't with them. We did a one-off show in Erie, Pennsylvania one night. And the PA system, like one song in, blew up. It was like melting or something. Like you could smell it. And
started smoking and everything.
Yeah, and the electrical was just going out on our amps and stuff, and it was a mess. But yeah, that was a fun one too.
Did you manage to finish the set with everything breaking around you?
I mean, honestly, yeah, we played the rest of our set. It just like I'm not really sure how much of it was that audible or like which instruments you could hear, during what songs.
It was, I think I even mentioned when we were done with that set, I was like, I think it was definitely probably visibly noticeable to the people in the crowd watching that we knew that there was something wrong. And we were a little bit mildly uncomfortable, but we, as they say, show must go on.
So. Everyone just giving side eyes like,
yeah.
It would have been so.
Got sick from the smell.
Oh no! I was going to say you could play it off super punk rock, and like if like all the power just went out the moment you finished the last note, and then the sprinkler system came on from all the smoke, and it'd be like it's just part of the stage show, guys.
That would be epic. Yeah,
that would have been a story for the grandkids.
That would have been a story for this interview as well. Anyway, so looking from the past to the future, what is left to achieve on your band bucket list? What would be near the top of the list?
I'm very specifically with things involving music, I'm very easy to appease. So I don't have a huge bucket list in terms of, there's things we do every day in the band that like small things that I'm just like, that blew my mind. I never thought that would have happened for us. I never thought that opportunity would have came. But the one that I always talk about that like I want to still achieve just before I can call my music career end of the day, I really just had this urge to play like this venue that's actually in downtown Cleveland where we're from. It's called the House of Blues in Cleveland. And that's like, and they've got like a main stage. They have like a smaller little side stage. And I've never played any of them, but the main stage, House of Blues Cleveland, that is like I need to do that. And if I can do that, and there's a lot of people and they're into our music and they love it, that I can die happy the next day, honestly.
I feel
very cool.
For me, I think we have a lot of goals and, things that we talk about that we want to achieve in terms of like, okay, here's a serious, like, what are we operating at? What can we achieve? What's this, but in terms of music, I think the only thing I need to get out of it is to know that I didn't slack, that we put everything we could into it, and that like, I just want our music to do something for someone else, like the spark that music gave me when I was a kid, like for just the rest of my whole life and everything that I did. Like I want, like if our music can do that for someone, like that's awesome. Like that's enough for me, honestly. So
that's very cool. It's very cool. What about you, Scott? What's on your band bucket list?
Man, Spencer, I totally relate to that. Like just being able to know that people can jam an Alba Room song when they get off work, and they had a shitty day, and they can just rock out and get whatever bothering them in life off their mind. That's what means the most to me. I guess like in terms of bucket list, man, I love playing like festivals and whatnot. We actually got to play at my college that I graduated from. We got to play like a festival they have there last year, and that was just a really fun experience. Like especially like as an alumnus of the college, like getting to play again. And DJ Pauly D got to play later in the night.
Oh, that's a crazy show story. How did we miss that one? Yeah.
Young Thug was there. From it too.
Soulja Boy couldn't play because he got arrested the morning of the show. So yeah, so how did we miss that story?
I forgot all about that. I know. Yeah. Yeah, that was a show. Yeah, we're supposed to schedule a play with DJ Pauly D. There's a band called American Authors. They were also playing that day. They're pretty cool. But yeah, Young Thug, I think, headline. DJ Pauly D had to pull double duty because of the Soulja Boy arrest. So they asked him, they're like, hey, can you play 2 sets now instead of just your one?
And he did.
He's a great guy. He ended up giving us a follow. He gave us our band like a follow on Twitter, and I was
sweet.
I was like, dude, that's it. That's all we need. Pauly D's admiration.
I was
what a hero. we could all stand to be a little bit more like Pauly D.
For sure.
But I don't know if it's on your bucket list or anything, but we'd love to have you over in the UK sometime as well.
Absolutely. That's definitely a bucket list item for me. I grew up, we call it soccer here, but I grew up playing soccer my whole life for actually like 15 years. So I love the sport, and I love England. I mean, honestly, you know what I mean? I love the UK, and I love Europe because I have a lot of European heritage.
Sweet.
So I would love to go do like, European would be sick, but that's like, obviously that's like a huge scale. Like I would love to just even do like a UK thing,
That'd be dope.
Like, that would be so sick one day. Like,
absolutely.
Like for sure. So I think you're onto something, Tom. It's a good idea.
Here at UDS, we don't really talk about football that much, but we do talk about the breadth of pop culture. So we talk about music, we talk about movies, video games, comic books, even wrestling sometimes if there's something to talk about. With that in mind, if you could have an Elbow Room track featured in anything at all, what would it be?
Grand Theft Auto.
Straight out of
The
the
Last
gate.
of Us 2, probably.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
I wasn't expecting that, but it could work. It could work.
Like take one. Yeah, that would be epic. That would be like, I would be like, okay, I'm content.
So we actually have a song coming off of Now That You're Away. It's called Figure It Out. And I think it stands currently, I don't know, it changes every day. I mean, it really does. But as of now, I mean, it probably my favorite song that we have currently as of right now. It just hits hard. It's just good alt rock song. I think that would be a great entrance name for a given WWE, whatever professional wrestler. I think it just fits that bill very well. So
very good.
I would run with that.
There you go. There you go. Where am I in my list? There we go. That's where I am. Okay, so the next segment is a serious segment, and it normally goes down like a lead balloon. It's normally very unpopular. It's also incredibly plagiarized here in the UK, so bear with me. I'm really selling it. It's called Desert Island Discs, and the concept is you're stranded on an island. You're quarantined for whatever reason, but it's just you alone on the island. You can take one album, one movie, and one luxury item with you. What would they be? I knew it would be a hard one. Everyone hates this, but I always ask it.
I have 2 out of 3. I'm trying to think of the luxury item.
Okay, do you want to hit me with the first 2?
You know what?
I don't have my movie.
You know what? I got my 3. I got it.
Go ahead.
All right. So my movie would be Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler. It's probably one of my favorite comedies of all time.
100%.
Mrs. Doubtfire would be a close second with Robin Williams. Me and Scott love that movie. We joke about it all the time. My album would be Phobia by Breaking Benjamin. Breaking Benjamin's probably like my number one influential like artist band. Like I love them. People always think it's because my name is Ben, which is a cop out. It's really not. But yeah. So, but Phobia is definitely my favorite album by them. So that'd be the album I would take. And then my luxury item would be rather my phone, not because I'm a millennial, but because I just really love YouTube and I watch YouTube a lot. So I if I had YouTube, I don't care where I
gotta watch his Upside Down Shark.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
exactly. I gotta have my Upside Down Shark. So I gotta have a phone or a laptop. If one of those are my luxury items, I'm good.
Sweet. What about you, Spencer?
Movie. I'm having such time. I like don't watch. Can I take like a season of a show instead?
Yeah, why not?
All right, sick. I love modifying rules on the fly.
Breaking the rules.
So let's do. I would take season 1 of Drake and Josh, and then
wow, that's a blast from the past. I love it.
It was that or White Collar. I was stuck, and we went with Drake and Josh. So all right. Album would be Paper Walls by Yellow Card, and luxury item. I would take my computer for sure. Absolutely, 400%.
That's allowed in the rules. What about you, Scott?
Sick.
Oh man, I'm so bad at this.
You can take a season of a show too if you have to.
Yeah, no. I was thinking Jackass, just all of them.
Oh wow,
the trilogy.
I got to get those laughs in. Again, Mrs. Doubtfire, close second. R.I.P. Robin Williams, love that guy. Let's see. As for the album, this is gonna be a tough one. I can never narrow it down. Probably like What You Don't See by Story So Far. That's just that's always been up there in my list. Great record. And then luxury item. Oh, hate to say computer because we always have them with us, but just for recording and jamming out and all that good stuff, that's one thing I always have to have with me. So probably got to say computer.
That's it. I mean, I would tend to agree. I think the internet and computers, you can't even really call them a luxury anymore. They're more of like a utility, the same with like heating and water. But yeah, it makes sense. Ben, what is your favorite YouTube channel other than Upside Down Shark, of course?
So my all-time favorite YouTube channel, unfortunately, he passed away a couple years ago. But have you ever heard of The Angry Grandpa?
I have not, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So pretty much it was a channel started by his son, who also has a big channel now. He's called Kid Behind a Camera. They get a lot of hate, honestly, but when their dad was alive, he pretty much just picked up a camera, started recording his father. He would just break things, smash the kid's PS4. He was just real angry, swore at his kid all the time, but he was hilarious. I mean, you could tell his dad was like meant to be like a camera star, and so they amassed this huge YouTube following.
Oh, so it was just like a show, like
just literally his son recording him from home and just like the crazy stuff that he would get into. So I fell in love with them. I found them like 7-8 years ago, and I watched their channel grow from like 80,000 subscribers to they've got like 4.5 million now. But wow. He unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, and it was like real heartbreaking for anyone that's like a diehard fan of the show, because he almost felt like a grandparent to you in a way. And it was just really, it was like almost like losing a family member. So, but yeah, that is my all-time favorite YouTube channel for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. And yeah, that is a real shame. That's a real shame. I'm glad to see that he's left a legacy, the, laughter and entertainment that will last forever, essentially.
Absolutely.
So here at UDS, we like to advocate positivity. And one of the ways we do that is through inspirational quotes. And one of my favorites is, "I can't believe I ate the whole thing." Because if you keep reminding yourself of that, whatever you're doing in life, whatever you got to consume, whether it be metaphorical or physical, you will end up eating the whole thing. But with that in mind, what would be your inspirational quote to share with the world?
You want to go?
You go.
All right. Mine is, I'm actually probably going to end up getting this tattooed on me sometime in the future. I always say I do, and then I never do, but I really want to. There's a band that I'm also a huge fan of. They're called The Maine, and they have a song called Unlost. And in the song, they have a lyric that goes, "Control what you can, confront what you can't." And I think that's probably like one of my all-time favorite, like just mottos in general that anybody can live by. So I've always loved that. It helped me personally with some of these things that I get like really anxious about that I know I can't control. So if I can't control it, anyone can do is just confront it head on, and you can't just stress things over that you can't control. So that would be mine for sure.
Right on.
Cool. I've got a couple. I think one of the big ones for me is the quote is, "The cautious seldom err." And I looked it up. I will confess that. Confucius said it. I don't really know the background of a lot of it, honestly, but the quote always just really rang true with me. I think, the cautious seldom err goes to lend itself to, you just gotta be, if you're composed and cautious with the way you treat people and the way you go about things, I think you'll have less of a messy impact, maybe more of a graceful impact and more of a positive impact on just everything around you. So I like that quote.
Definitely.
Scott, am I allowed to guess your quote? I feel like I know what Scott's is.
Oh boy.
Ben, go for it, man. Because I'm drawing a blank on this one, man. It's all you.
I feel like if Scott had to pick an inspirational quote, because he can have a big ego, I feel like Scott. I'm just kidding. You don't. I feel like he would pick a quote out of his own inspirational soul. And that quote would be, "If you can't play it slow, you can't play it at all."
LinkedIn saw it first.
Oh, well, there you go.
So our buddy Nick from the Lumberyard, who, when we went to Do Now That You're Away, produced the record. I was tracking drums and whatnot, and trying to get all the fills the way I want it and all that good stuff. And I told him, I'm like, man, if you can't play it slow, you can't play it fast. My drum teacher told me that. His name's Chris, and I've just always felt that way from practicing music, and like you always got to take it slow and get the part down before you rip it at full speed. So he wrote that down, took a picture of it like through the control room of him holding a piece of paper, and my picture was on it. He put it on LinkedIn, so I'm like, it's out there for the professional network to see, and throw it on the resume too. So thanks to my drum teacher Chris, thanks Nick, and go LinkedIn, add me.
Thanks Nick from the Lumberyard.
There you go. I mean, it's words that can apply to anything in life. If you got to do it right before you can do it fast.
Yeah,
for sure. So obviously, no one can plan for the rest of the year because it's a crazy time to be alive. But as best as you can, what does 2020 or the rest of 2020 have in store for Elbow Room?
To keep it as least specific as possible, because like you said, just we have no idea what's going to happen. I will say, whenever it's safe for, whenever it's safe for the people who want to see us play, for them to come and gather at venues, we will be playing shows right away. As soon as we know that we're not putting people at risk and, then we will. And other than that, I would just say content, new record, videos,
got some
stuff
merch
on the social media, merch stuff
coming for sure.
New merch, you name it, we'll be doing it online. So
very exciting. Very exciting. And the last question that I always end these interviews with is, we are UDS or Upside Down Shark, whatever you want to call us. I'll probably answer. I'll be like, what? Anyway, with that in mind, Elbow Room, what would be your favorite sharks? And they can be real, they can be fictional, they can be something from a movie.
Oh, I'm done. I know already.
I mean, they could be something from a movie, they could be something from nature. But if you got it in mind already, then just hit me up.
All right. Blue Sharks, the candy. It's my favorite candy of all time. There's like this gummy candy. You know what?
I was not expecting that.
There might be like you might not have had these. Let me see if I can find a photo for you.
That's pretty much all Spencer lives off of, to be honest.
We don't have these over here, so I'm intrigued. I am intrigued.
That's all he eats. So that's why I laughed so hard at that, because I was surprised, but I really wasn't surprised.
So
sometimes if I'm like a little bit back in my basement.
Oh, there you go. There it is.
Dang, yep. They look good. 2 for $1.50. Like, that's a good deal.
They're awesome, dude. They're like this hat. So the top half is blue, and it's like the see-through like gummy, and the bottom half is white, and it's like the opaque gummy that you can't see through. And it's a great combo.
That sounds like a great shark.
My favorite sharks. I cannot remember their names, but my favorite sharks are the ones who told Nemo that fish are friends, not food.
The main one is called Bruce. So
Bruce,
that's the only one I know.
Thank you. Yes,
voiced by Dame Edna Everage, the only tree queen that I follow.
Okay, all right. Know your stuff.
I know my sharks. I don't know much, but I know my sharks. What about you, Scott?
That. Nice.
My favorite sharks got to be Damon John and Mark Cuban, bro. Shark Tank all day, baby.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Dragon's Den over here, which doesn't sound as cool as a Shark Tank, but there you go.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wow.
But the last thing I have to ask is, where can people find you online?
Instagram and Twitter is at Elbow Room Band. You can find us on Facebook if you do that, at Elbow Room Official. We're on YouTube. Got music videos, we've got streaming videos, we've got we've got one of the social distancing sessions uploaded on there as well. Mm-hmm. You can find some video content like on our Instagram TV and on our Facebook as well. So there's that. And then all the streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Google, you can Shazam us, whatever it is that you use to listen to music, you can find us on it for the most part. Yeah.
There you have it. Shazam Elbow Room. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Tom. It was great.
Awesome.
Tom.
Thank you. And if you're listening at home, make sure to listen to their latest single at the bottom, wherever you listen to good music. Pre-order now that you're away, out June 5th. We'll put a link in the description for both of those. Hit subscribe for more interviews with cool people from around the world, where hopefully I'm a little bit more coherent than I am now. And we will catch you next time.